In this video, we're going to show how we re-vacuum sealed and rolled up a bed in a bag to bring it back to the store as a return. So let's get started. What I've got here is some 4mm plastic that I picked up at a home repair store, and this is the same plastic that's found in the paint section. And what I did was I measured the mattress and I cut the plastic a little longer on the width side and about to size on the length side, so the long side. And so I brought the mattress in and dropped it on the plastic, and now I'm basically just encapsulating the mattress in the plastic wrap. I had a little extra, like I said, so I didn't really have a use for it, so I just tucked it underneath instead of cutting it off. I didn't want to risk puncturing the plastic, so I'd rather just tuck it underneath and make a nice straight seam. Once I had that seam nice and straight, I just went and got some packing tape, and now you see me taping over that seam to make it airtight. Now I'm going to move to one of the ends, and I'm just going to start wrapping it kind of like a present, where it's got some very defined straight creases in it that I can easily apply tape over to make sure there are no spots open for air to leak through once it's vacuum sealed. And now I'm just applying tape over the seam with half the tape on one side and half the tape on the other, just again to make sure that there's no openings. It's kind of a tedious process to make sure there are no openings, but if you've got to vacuum seal a bag, you want to make sure that there's no small gaps, openings, or tears for when you try to vacuum seal it. Otherwise the vacuum won't be able to pull it down, or after you vacuum it, it'll just leak in. The plastic kept unfolding, so what you see me do here is just put a little holder strip of tape on it. Sometimes the folds can be a little awkward and weird, and you might have to uncrease or unpack it a little bit and retape it. Here you saw I went back to the other side because I actually noticed a crease line on the closer side to the camera, and I realized I hadn't taped it up on the far side. So now that the bag is all taped up, I cut a very small hole in it to insert the vacuum, and I use packaging tape to seal around the opening as best I can. And once I'm happy with the seal that I've made, I go ahead and turn the vacuum on to start the vacuuming process. The only thing to note is for our specific case, when I cut through, there's actually 2 layers of plastic, so I just made sure that I went through both layers. The extent of the vacuuming process took a few minutes, but it did a fantastic job at actually sucking out all of the air that was in the bed because it was a hybrid foam and spring. When I felt like there was enough air sucked out, I started to try to roll the bed. My objective was just to get it to a point where I could get it in the car, and so at this point I just rolled it up and put enough tape on it because after I pulled the vacuum out, it would start to suck back air in, just because I would never be able to get that hole sealed up because of the awkwardness of it. So I just reinforce the tape, wrap it totally around, and then I start to load it in the car. As you can see here, it was about the same size as when we brought it home originally, and so that's how you re-vacuum pack a bed in a bag.